Okay. Promised this video about a week ago. Unfortunately, I got sick, and then the holidays came, and I got too much sun, and I got sick again. So, what I'm going to be talking about in this video is what I was planning on talking about a week ago, and that is the SCOTUS rulings. I'm going to start off with the ruling in favor of Trump. That really, to me, was a no-brainer. Uh, the chief executive, the head of the executive branch, should be able to fire people who are executives in non non-government federal positions. That's like the FCC, the FDLC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, all these non-government federal agencies. Excuse me. And that was upheld. And so a lot of these people that were obstructing President Trump, career bureaucrats, are now out the door. Now, there was one ruling that was an exception to that, and that was the Federal Reserve Board, that the president of the United States couldn't fire somebody from that board because they were appointed through congressional means. And, but it was moot because they can be fired by the chairman of that board. And the new chairman of the board is a Trump appointee, so Ms. Cook is out the door either way. Now here's a really great one that I was very happy about, and that was only women in women's sports. I mean, that's another no-brainer. This Title IX ruling in that regard was the only way to go. I mean, there are only two sexes, male and female. And that was part of the majority ruling written down, that there are only two biological sexes, regardless of what people consider themselves. I mean, I could consider myself Napoleon Bonaparte. That doesn't make me him. Just the same thing with these gender oriented individuals. It like I said, it was a no-brainer. Now what they need to do, the Supreme Court needs to do, is address the bathroom laws. They addressed an issue about a policy with the Boyertown School District about, I don't know, 6-7 years ago. But that was a policy, not a law, not a state statute. And the law that's going to be coming up to be ruled on is a South Carolina law. So hopefully that will go the same way. I have a feeling it will. And lastly, I'm surprised I'm the only person who's surprised about this, and that is the ruling regarding birthright citizenship. I know a lot of people are saying, well, that's not what the 14th Amendment says. Well, those are people who didn't read the 14th Amendment, because there's no room for ambiguity on that. I don't fault Trump for swinging the fences with that EO, but I had no doubt that that was going to come back that way. Now, what's got to be done is we got to get these Republicans who we elected to support and to put forward Trump's agenda to get their heads out of their ass, because they only got a couple months left. If the Dems take a hold after the midterms, they gotta, Thune has really pissed me off, because he's an obstruction instead of, If we're going to have a majority leader, let's have a majority leader that actually leads. We didn't have one with Mr. Turtle, and now it seems like Thune is the same way. So the Republicans really got to get their shit together before the end of this term, because it's just, it's ridiculous. We need to get the I'm sorry about this. I can't remember the name of the law. But the Save America Act. That's it. We need to get Save America Act across the line. We need to get the some legislation passed very quickly, PDQ, through the House and the Senate, that is going to keep the oh God, I'm sorry about this. Keep people from coming in this country on the false pretense to have a child. We seen this recently. A hospital was actually advertising this, and this may come as a surprise to you, but it doesn't come as a surprise to me that a hospital would be advertising anything like this, because in the 1990s, when New York passed the Welfare to Work Act, there were billboards telling people in New York in Spanish that if you maxed out your welfare in New York, come to Pennsylvania. And they did. And so that is why this does not surprise me one bit that they would actually advertise citizenship tourism. So that has to be addressed, as well as codifying something that just because you had an anchor baby doesn't mean you get to stay. What you do with your child is your own business. We'll leave that in your hands. Do you want to leave the kid here with a relative? Do you want to leave the kid here, put them up for adoption? Do you want to take the kid with you? And then as they get older, they can, as an adult, they can assert their citizenship and come back. All of these things can be put and codified. I'm so tired of hearing people say, oh, well, you're separating families. You're separating families. What about the families of the people who were separated by their family members being killed? I don't hear them crying about that one damn bit. Particularly Jayapal. She showed how little she cared to that angel mom in a hearing recently. So the Republicans got to get their act together and bring forth legislation, get it passed, and get it to Trump's desk as soon as possible. All right. Stay safe. God bless, and hang loose.
If you like this content, please follow on Facebook or subscribe on YouTube. Don't forget to hit that notification bell.